I'm a firm believer in the 80-20 rule. 80-20 rule. And it could be 80-20 either way at any time. But I'm a firm believer in that. It's going to be, I don't believe in no 50-50. It's 80-20. If you look at most of the relationships that work, it's usually some type of dynamic where it's 80-20, where the man is doing something himself. I mean, where the woman is also doing something. Like the man may be taking a dominant position, but the woman's also doing something. Let me give you an example. Example of that is like the City Girls' relationship with JT and Little Uzi Vert. That's just one example. Or Sierra and Russell Wilson. Though Sierra has her own thing going, she's a superstar in her own right. Russell Wilson is is a mega star. Like he's on his highest level at playing football. He has something going, really. Like the man is always gonna have a more responsible role. Like he defends his family with his life. That's already taking more responsibility. So he deserves more of the say so, more of the credit. That's why God has ordained this. See, God is wise. He understands these things. He doesn't need Oprah Winfrey or a whole long panel of discussion to figure these things out. It's pretty much, like I said, it's common sense. So 80-20. As a man, you want to go ahead and get yourself established before you even start trying to deal with a woman seriously. That's what, a lot of you guys didn't understand. Like, people don't get this because, they look at dating as being so casual. Everything. It's really, none of these people are being serious. No one's taking anyone serious. It's all just a bunch of casual sex, and that's why you have a bunch of babies out of wedlock, bunch of single mothers, bunch of men getting burned on child support, and they run to the internet to try to then in turn to complain about women. That's what's going on because no one is taking this thing serious. You have to really seriously think about who you're going to lay down with and be a partner with. Again, if we just be real, there's been a lot of just casual sex going on. If people would just be real, they got when laid down with people that they knew that they were not going to be with. So it wasn't worried about 80-20, 50, all this 50-50 talk. Like, why are you worried about it? You weren't worried about that when you were laying down with the person you were laying down with. Like when people are at the bar, hooking up, drinking, getting drunk, hooking up with people, sleeping with one guy this and one day, sleeping with the next guy the next. They don't worry about 50-50, 20, 80-20. They not worried about any of that. They not worried about being wives or husbands to no one. So these concepts, but here comes a baby out of the situation. And these concepts, they're going over people's heads. These seem like antiquated concepts, but you have constantly having women and people talking about traditional men need to be providers and this and the third. That's ridiculous. Like, you can't try to hold men to tradition. Just throw all that out the window. If you're going to live in this modern society with all of these new modern concepts that you coming up with, why would you try to hold men to the only traditional standard? No one else is holding traditional standards. Women are out here trying to be men. They're out here, they can do anything that they want to do. They're not second-class citizens. So why in turn would you... Men, I'm not going to allow you to reduce yourself to a second-class citizen. And I'm not going to allow you to, like, men who allow women to just come into a relationship and just keep all of their money while they just constantly, and don't make their woman do nothing. She's not working. And they just constantly shelling out money looking like Ray Charles. That's just like creating a spoiled child, bro. Because what happened if one day you die? One day they ain't with you no more. One day, you know, something may happen to the woman, or now she's on disability or something. You know, she may not be provided for anymore. What is she gonna do in the world? What can she do for herself? You know, you may not be making money like that no more. What is she gonna contribute if you get sick? If you get hurt, something happens to you, what will she be able to contribute? What has she been putting into the pot as you've been going along? Again, 80-20. 80 is you're taking care of everything. You know, women be like, you know, can you provide for this and provide? Look, man, if a man is already taking care of himself, he's already taking care of all of his bills, taking care of himself. Pretty sure a man not going, if he wants to marry you or get with you, he not going to bring you into his house and be like, well, this bill is this. You know, you could come live with him, and that's already saving you money. You don't pay rent anymore. That's already a benefit to you. You're not paying rent anywhere. You know, if I wasn't paying rent or something, like, do you know how much money people could be saving and doing with that? Two heads are better than one, but it's not better than one when one of the heads is dysfunctional. If you have a dysfunctional head on part, you know, attached to your body, like, it's not gonna, like, then it's not better because that's a liability to you. You understand? You be better off just severing that. But two heads are always better than one. You understand? You can always get more done. That, and for women, your husband is your covering. He covers you from a lot of things. You know, and the woman does that for her husband in some ways as well. But really, I'm just telling you as a man, but as a man, don't come in nowhere like expecting 50-50. Like, you know, you go, look, we gonna go half on this and I'm gonna break down, you know, and you give me half of this. I'm just saying that's just really not gonna work. I'm just trying to tell you, that's not like a dynamic that women look at and be like, they'll take it again because it's still beneficial. Some women will be able to work with you 50-50, like, and it's all a situational thing. Like, you could be at one level one day and then next month just jump like this. Look at Tyler Perry. I mean, I could go on and on with the list. Every man and woman starts somewhere. But for men, you know, women are supposed to be men's helpmate. That's what you're made for, to help him cultivate what he's trying to do and build this thing. Like, women today, you can't look for ready-baked cakes. Like, those ready-baked, like, if a man have earned everything and you come along, it's not really much incentive for them to look at you as being loyal to them, or they don't really feel that and rightfully so, they're not going to feel that because you weren't there. Now, look at a man who, you know, you may have met him when he wasn't fully where he needed to go, and you stayed down with him, and you know, you did your part, and he was able to come up. Now he was able to come up, and now he can provide. Basically, he can pay for everything. He could provide for the whole house, but he's still allowing you to do your thing, and so you could bring in contribute something to the household, and it's 80-20. Could you imagine how much more that man would love you and have reverence for you, and the times because you stayed down with him, and the times you were loyal to him, and the times where he was in his beginning stages of his career and in the beginning stages of his life, the budding stages of his life, you were there. Could you imagine how much more that he would have a long, everlasting love for you? Like, the man will understand that you with him. He'll see that you've been tried and true. There's no incentive for, like, a woman to come to a guy who's rich and then she's just nestles under him and sits and takes all of his money and just sit at the house all day and, you know, mess around with little things or touch up this and her and this. Like, you're not really benefiting him. I mean, and men get this. This is just something that they get. It's just not something I'm talking. It's something that men get. Now, don't get me wrong. Guys will play the game again. Man with money is the same with just a man who don't. It just brings out, you know, more of who you are. If they just want some casual sex, then they'll, of course, bring you into the house under the guise of being, you know, being in a relationship with them under their guise, but just understand that that's temporary, and that they got other women that they dealing with. You just have to understand that, and that's just how it is. You understand? They're whoremonger males. You're just temporary, and they have other women that they dealing with. You're not there to be living and, sucking up all the resource as the queen bee, getting fat. No, this isn't like you saw Married with Children. You're not Peg Bundy, because you'll end up like Al if you were really to allow a woman like that to just be in your circumference for too long. That's not how men be successful. That's, picking and choosing the wrong people to be around, and liabilities. Like liabilities you get rid of quickly. You may, like I said, you may sleep with women like that, but they never end up they're not good marriage partners, good partners to keep around, like I said, to people to be trusted. But as a man, maintaining 80-20, like, now sometimes, again, and I only say this is something that happens in the beginning stages. Like, as relationships develop, you ain't got to worry about societal norms and things like that. If you look, society is doing away with all that. You got two women, the brat just had a baby. You got two dads. They just did a movie with two dads, Knock at the Cabin. So, nothing's traditional here in America at this point. So you can just forget all of that nonsense. Drop all that. Do what works for you and makes you happy. You need to stop worrying about what people think. That's the main thing. Get your relationships off social media. What ruins relationships is when you start putting all of your business, and I mean every single piece of your business, on social media. That's what ruins it. You know what I'm saying? So as a man, you want to just maintain things like that. You want to be able to maintain order in your home. And if there's 80-20, you will have enough room there to be able to maintain order. If it's 50-50, then you're going to, now again, it's not a problem, and every relationship is different, but if it's 50-50, then you have to compromise. Like, you two are compromising, and you as a man don't have the final say. A lot of men really, they defer to their woman. They defer to her for what to do next and guidance. No, I know men like that. And it's like, bro, I just don't get you. You have men who will have women to call places and handle their business. It's like, you're the man. You're supposed to be handling the business. You don't have your woman speaking for you and making calls for you. Come on, man. That's not how we do things, man. But it happens, and it happens, and I get it. But you want to maintain 80-20. You can, and as a man, just all that just comes with is just keep your purpose first at all times. Keep your purpose first at all times. What do I mean by that? Just focus on, never put your total focus on your woman, on a woman. Don't ever do that. You may, because eventually you may have a family, you may have kids, and, never put your total focus on your family. You can't do that. Your focus as a man should be on your purpose for God. That's it. You have a purpose. Not saying that you don't love your family. It's the same way you love your mother and your father. You understand? But your mother and your father shouldn't take precedent over God and your purpose that you have for him. You understand? It should never do that. You have a God-given purpose that Jesus Christ died to give, so you can see that to its full fruition. That's what his life was given for, so you can see your purpose to its full fruition and make it to the end. So you can see your purpose to its full fruition, make it to the end, and be able to have eternal life. You're chasing something that's bigger than, having some sex, or that's bigger than, a relationship. with your wife, or it's bigger than your relationship with your children. You understand? It really, if you understand these things as a man, some men, if you look at the mafia, Tony Soprano, they told you that your ties to the mob come before your family. You understand? It's the same with that. It's just us as, men today, they say you want to be traditional and all of that foolishness, but they don't want you to return to the traditions that we have been following that's in the Bible. You understand that God has ordained for us to follow. That's tradition right there. That's man's tradition. So if you want him to be traditional, you as a woman, women should be getting with God. First, men should be God-fearing men and following the God of the Bible. Yes, if following Yeshua, Jesus Christ, you should be following him. You understand? And if you read the Bible, it'll tell you that you should be on your purpose. So you should first be following him as a man before you think about doing anything else, because you're going to do it and fail. You're going to do it in error. It's going to be like an error. You're going to do it wrong. That's just how it's going to be. Like, yes, you're going to start getting too sexually charged. You're going to start juggling too many women. One of these women going to burn you, take you straight to child support. Like, you're not getting with decent women. You're not attracting them. So as a man, you want to get on your purpose first for God. Find what that is. That's one of the hardest things to do in life. I can vouch for that, is to find your purpose. Like, what are you here for? Find that, let a woman add, it's not, it's for men. For men, a woman is supposed to be your helpmate. You understand? You're supposed to have a program, and she comes in and helps that program. You understand? That's it. And a woman, as a woman, you're not on point and you constantly trying to use people, you're never going to put yourself in alignment to get with that person. So you're just going to end up a single mother, unfortunately. And that's what's happening. Or just single and alone. So, brothers, 80-20, man. I'm telling you, you get to do whatever you want. Some dudes want to come into the relationship and be 40-60. They bring 40, the woman got 60. That's why the woman able to tell you all type of stuff and kick you out the crib. And, some dudes want to come 20-80 to the woman, on the woman's end, where she bringing in everything. And, and she able to kick a nigga to the curb at the end. See, when niggas look at, you heard people talking about A$AP Rocky is being Rihanna's, being like taking the feminine role to Rihanna and things like that. Look, man, when a woman is a billionaire and you got millions and things, look, that don't even apply anymore. It is no 80, 20, 50, all that's out the window. Now, if you want to, and it's also on how you carry yourself as a man. Because if A$AP Rocky, I guarantee if he came to Rihanna with a business deal, with $1 million business deal, and he broke it down to her, guarantee you she'll probably break him off that bread. And be like, if he's just, you could still be dominant in your relationship, and the dominant thing is telling, look, man, it's either you can be alone, if you're going to try to do it like that, because you're going to be selfish, then it ain't no point for me to be with you. If you're going to be selfish, ain't no point for a nigga why are we even doing this, So that's different. Don't ever try to compare yourself to a billionaire relationships and things like that, and millionaire relationships. Like A$AP Rocky is a millionaire, she's a billionaire. Hey, no one's losing there. 50, who cares? Like, how much do you want? See, and a lot of people are like, and you get this talk from a lot of broke people. But hey, 80-20, man. Trust me, that'll save you a lot of trouble. With that being said, it's your man, Nico B, Blackeffect. Gone.